epidemic of empty stores threatens more Metro Detroit shopping malls. If you're interested, check out this article. It's tons of pictures of all the empty Detroit malls. And, it's not just because Detroit is this or that. It's for many cities, okay? So you look at this, we could see it in other cities. I've shown you the pictures before where you have massive stores, the JCPenney's, the Macy's, the Sears, big anchor stores that are shutting down, and then the whole mall basically shuts down as a result. If the big retailers like those anchor stores are shutting down, the other ones probably can't exist. So that's what occurs. These big boys, they're getting taken down. I know a lot of people, every single time I do a video about this, I always see it, but I need to revert to the facts. And that is e-commerce is growing. Understood. I get it. Amazon, understood. Okay, we're on the same page there. What we need to address is the fact that retail purchases, e-commerce is 9 to 10% of e-commerce makes up the total retail sales. Okay, 9 to 10%. That is not a significant amount. Now you think about this for a second. Are people buying maybe little gadgets like a charger for their phone on Amazon? Yes, probably they do that. Okay, that's fine. But are they buying their food? A small amount is being purchased online, okay? Are they buying clothing? Well, it's changing, certainly. But I would say the majority of certain types of retail purchases, the vast majority of them, are being purchased in the stores still. A lot of people do not trust online sales for shopping experiences, particularly in the higher end or even mid-range, I would say. This is stuff that you buy at the store. They want to touch it, they want to feel it, they want a customer service representative to speak to them, and that's just the way it is. That's from what I've seen. You go to your local shopping mall that, let's say you're buying food or whatever, the lineup is huge. Every day there's a lineup there. The amount of people that are getting food deliveries that I'm talking about for your groceries is, I think it's such a small fraction, okay, because of shipping costs, because people want to be able to see. I want to see the fruit. I want to touch it. I want to be able to handle it myself. I don't want to pay the costs that are associated with somebody else doing this for me. So that's one factor, okay? And then we have to look at other things that go along with that. Are they going to give me free shipping if I buy my iPhone online? I don't need to go to buy it at the Apple store. It's too busy there and things, okay? So there's a lot of things happening. Over the next 10 years, there's going to be more people buying stuff online than there are today. If I go 20 years from now, more people, and so on. That's a growing trend. That's a fact. But let's face the music. The economy is the reason why these stores are closing down in such a degree. They wouldn't be closing down 8,000 stores this year if it was just because there was too many malls. There were too many malls last year. There were too many malls the year before, and the year before, and the year before, and the year before that. That's not why it's closing. It's because the economy itself is weakening. By nearly any measure, this city is booming, and they're referring to Denver. This article is out of the New York Times. The unemployment rate is below 3%. There's so much construction that a local newspaper started a crane watch feature. Seemingly every week brings headlines about companies bringing high-paying jobs to the area, yet Denver's once soaring housing prices has run into the turbulent markets here. Sales and construction activity have slowed in recent months. Housing that would have drawn a frenzy of offers are sitting on the market for days or weeks. Selling prices are rising more slowly, and asking prices are being slashed to attract buyers. What we're seeing here in Denver is a situation that's going on in other places as well. Prices aren't as hot as they were before. You don't get that frenzy. You don't get that heat that was there previously. It's not necessarily the same case in an area like San Francisco, which is just hot, hot, hot. You see the tech boom that is clearly fueling all of that. And so we have a difference of situation going on, and I wanted to bring that to you relating to Denver in this case here. One of the major factors about real estate and where it's going to go is debt. Freddie Mac's 30-year mortgage rate is now at 4.72%. This is a rate that it hasn't been since 2011. Here you can see that it has escalated and climbed to a multi-year high. This here is unaffordable to the masses. I'm going to show you something in just a second, but understand what's happening today is that people have been fueling all of their purchases with debt. And that's okay, you know, if you're putting 20% down on your mortgage and so on. But if you're one of these individuals that's just buying everything on debt, you got a big problem. This is something that I wanted to give you. It's a resource that I don't think you should be relying on, but it's just good to know. And this is from the New York Times. Is it better to rent or buy? I'm not going to trust the New York Times and what they're providing here that I would want to do it, but just look at the numbers and let the numbers tell the story. So basically, you adjust all these slider bars. How much is the purchase price? How long do you plan to stay there? What are your mortgage details in terms of how much are you going to be paying? So I put that 4.72% down here, the same Freddie Mac rate right there. I put the purchase price of $1 million. And then you could see if you can rent a similar home for less than $3,600 per month, then renting is better. Now, $3,600 per month, that's a lot of money. But when you have to factor it in for what you're going to be doing here in a lot of these cities, you're paying $1 million. The home price, $1 million. It tells you how much that you're going to be putting down on your down payment, what the mortgage rate currently is, and so on. Okay, so you can adjust these bars and you could see how much of a difference it makes. Look, if I bring that to 1.5 million, it starts to be, look at that, $5,500 per month. It's better to rent than to buy. Okay, now if I increase this rate, which is interesting, so let me bring this back down to 1 million, and I don't want to waste your time, okay, I'm doing this for a reason. Let's just say that's $1 million, and let's bring this rate up now to 5% even, okay, $3,800. Okay, if I bring that to 5.5%, $4,000. So you could see that even a relatively modest increase in the mortgage rate is going to hurt people big time. So we go up to levels, imagine we're talking about $200 difference in their monthly payments is going to put people underwater. Okay, that's a statistic, $200. And so with a little bit of an increase in their mortgage rate, it's going to bury them. All right, so check this out. The link will be in the description under the sources as always. Very quickly, Jerome Powell and we don't see eye to eye apparently, because he said that the economy is expanding so well that it's too good to be true. Can you believe that? Jerome, we have a short position on the VIX. Powell said that the economy is too good to be true. Jerome Powell, I got a question for you. Why are you holding on to over $4 trillion worth of garbage on your balance sheet? Tell me that, number one. And number two is, why the hell aren't you increasing interest rates at an appropriate rate? Why do you have to wait 3 months to increase them 1/4 of a point? Why can't you actually do it at a steady rate? Every single month, bring it up 1/4 of a point. Why not get it to a more realistic scenario? Why do you have a short position on the VIX, Mr. Powell? Why do you have to use, and they use this wording here, I want you to know about this, it's called forward guidance. And forward guidance basically means that they say things into the market specifically to support it. That is a fact. It's called forward guidance, and they do so in order to manipulate the markets. Not even doing any actions at all. Basically, the wording that they choose is done intentionally. Every word they speak is used specifically to manipulate the market. That is a fact, and you need to understand it if you don't already know. That's that. Okay, so what he said basically, well, we got so much to love here. The jobless rate is at 3.9%. That's so fake. It's not even funny. The fake inflation rate is around 2%. Okay, core inflation that they love to use is just never going to go higher as long as you take away rents, as long as you take away food, as long as you take away energy, as long as you take away everything, and you put, I don't even know what's in there. It's the fakest rate possible. Okay, there's just nothing there. It's not even accounting for anything. And yet, that's the core inflation rate. Okay, so he talked about all this garbage. I'm tired of talking about him. Right? We're looking at the deficits right now. The deficit that has been just rapidly advancing in the United States is quite embarrassing. Okay, but it's just every country doing it anyway. But when we see, the economy is doing so well, and then we see the deficits expanding at this rate, I feel like it's terrible. Honestly, people are fooled by it. Even people who seem to be educated are telling me this. It's just garbage. It's really garbage to hear this. Yeah, enough. Bigger U.S. deficits are forecast, but it's still cheap to borrow, so have no fear. Even though we got trillions of dollars of deficits, why do you need to worry? Because we can finance it so cheaply. Oh, that's right. Public infrastructure has been neglected. Infrastructure needs funded and unfunded, and you can see that here. The funding gap is the orange section. Trillions of dollars need to be spent, and that instead goes to all of these contracts overseas to be building things that don't need to be built, to be dropping things from 30,000 feet in the air, if you know what I'm talking about, dropping love on different countries. Instead, we could easily fix all the problems of the United States, all the problems that the United States has. Instead, we use it to drop love on all these other countries. I got, a little bit of a difference of opinion, and I know that there are many people who are supportive of that garbage, but I, for one, am not. If you found this video informative, please give me a thumbs up. This is a really long video. I'm sure I've been talking, I've been ranting, but I've been trying to give you as much factual information as I possibly can. So give me that thumbs up to support the channel. If you want the financial education you were not taught in schools, these 2 books have it all. You can actually take a look through them. If you go over to Amazon, there's a look inside feature. It's going to allow you to flip through the pages of these books to see if you like them. And if you're more interested in the audiobook version, you can get that at themoney.gps.com.